You could have one of the Tesla full self-driving computer chips fail, car keeps driving. The probability of this computer failing is substantially lower than somebody losing consciousness. That's the key metric, at least an order of magnitude.
Hey, welcome to the video, and today we have a pretty big breakthrough, and I'm surprised not more people are talking about it. This channel called Holmar's Catalog has released a video of a Tesla car using autopilot and full self-driving features driving from San Francisco to Los Angeles with zero interventions. That is huge. This is the future, guys. You can watch the whole trip here. I would recommend you go to his channel. It's 15 minutes long. It's sped up. Right here, you can't see his hands on the wheels, but you can see this little logo right here, which is blue, meaning that it's an autopilot. And he did have one minor intervention at some point, but by that time he actually was already in Los Angeles. He actually wrote a summary of his journey, and let's go over it. The drive was not perfect, but it was such an impressive milestone that I had to share it anyway. Of course, the car did have to stop to charge. On this trip, the battery wasn't fully charged, so the car had to make 2 stops in Firebaugh and Kettleman City. Next time, I will try to do it with just one charging stop so there's even less human interaction. However, stopping twice over the journey is a more impressive demonstration of FSD's ability to navigate rural areas and is more realistic as to what a typical family's journey would look like making this trip. It would also be great if someone with a 400-mile Model S could attempt to do an FSD drive between SF and LA with no charging stops. So yes, he did have to make 2 stops because he simply didn't have enough power, but most people aren't going to be able to afford the 400-mile Model S, so this is more in line with what regular people would experience. After the car made it to Los Angeles, there was one tiny intervention where a giant piece of debris on the road popped up suddenly after a car moved out of the way. To be cautious, I couldn't wait to see if FSD would avoid it and had to make sure to move over myself. But besides that 1 second of grabbing the steering wheel, there were no interventions from start to destination. Next time, I expect to record a run where there is truly no human involvement. I'm sure some people will say that means there was an intervention, but I will note that it occurred after the car crossed the border into Los Angeles, so the achievement of 0 interventions from San Francisco to LA still stands in my view. This situation doesn't happen that often on an individual basis, where it seems like a piece of debris popped up out of nowhere. Even a human might have trouble reacting to this situation. But on a macro scale, when millions of people are driving every day, this type of stuff will happen a lot. That's why their neural network is so important. Even though this driver had to make a tiny intervention, this data point is now in its system. So the car will utilize how this driver reacted and keep that in mind for future incidents such as this. Another imperfection was that crossing Market Street, the car exhibited some strange behavior and changed into the adjacent lane. Normally, most people would have disengaged at this point, but I watched closely and let it do its thing because it was doing so well that I thought there was a possibility of it making it to LA without intervention. I'm sure some people will criticize me for this and say I should have taken over, but I was watching very carefully and was ready to intervene if needed. The car was able to make it across the street without disengaging ultimately. So it sounds like he took a risk, because up until this point, if you watch a lot of other FSD videos, the car is not ready. This is still a beta. This is a note to all of you people at Teslas. Please be careful. This is just a beta. So he definitely took a risk here, but because he was going for that perfect run, he let the Tesla go on its own, and it seemed to have worked out. Back to the recap. This is a milestone for long distance autonomous travel using only cameras, and I expect to see many more like it. This is just the first of many such cross-California and coast-to-coast drives without human intervention. Congratulations to the Tesla Autopilot FSD team on this stunning accomplishment. And here is where I will insert my slow clap. This is truly remarkable. I think once people see that this is even possible, even if it took 1 or 2 interventions, it feels like it's game over. I don't see any other companies that are able to show us this. I mean, the highways, you can see that it runs really well, but I would say the coolest parts are definitely when it's on these local roads. This is not something we're used to seeing. A lot of companies have pretty decent highway level 3 autonomy. There's so much more when you see it off ramping. Once you get to local roads, there's just a lot more complexity and strange situations. FSD has only just begun. Beta has just rolled out, and the fact that this is even possible now means that in a couple years, this will be so much better than human driving, and it might be coming a lot quicker than we think. That's it. This is a celebratory video, a big deal for a lot of us Tesla backholders. But let me know what you guys think about this video. This is Green Knight Trading, where scribes become knights. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.
At first, it seems improbable. How could it be that Tesla, who has never designed a chip before, would design the best chip in the world? But that is objectively what has occurred. Not best by a small margin, best by a huge margin.